If you've ever opened a virus on your PC, then you know what's coming next. It's the fellas.
All right, let's try this again.
Again.
You guys have, excuse me if I'm going to be a little bit salty, because we did an entire fucking podcast.
Yes.
And apparently the goddamn thing wasn't recorded.
It was fucking brilliant, I might add.
And I can't even remember half the shit I said.
I
was at peak alcohol. Now I'm at the downward slope where I'm getting kind of sloppy. I'm no longer funny. Now it's not like, that's a funny motherfucker. Now it's like, someone get that sloppy motherfucker out of my house. That's where I am right now.
Come on. No, we can't be that way.
We missed the peak. It's not the fucking same. We missed the peak.
Oh, shit, man.
Yeah, so you guys are going to get B-roll.
So we're going to try to recreate what we just did.
Which, it's like trying to recreate the love and the marriage. I mean, the sex is there, but it's mostly hate fucking.
It's kind of like Tenacious D and the greatest song in the world, but it was only for that moment.
This is not the greatest podcast in the world.
No, this is a tribute.
This is a tribute to the greatest podcast we've ever done.
Yes.
So we got to do this shit all over. So today, guys, we took it back to our roots, and my favorite, what I love watching the most, short films that are made by unknown directors. And I really love it because it's some shit that a director can put out there and not have to worry about the reputation, not have to worry about all the pomp and the bullshit. Oh, I gotta make sure I get into the Oscars. I gotta put a heartfelt moment, this and that, or whatever. It's like, no, look, you got 10 minutes. You got 10 minutes. Whatever point you're trying to prove, put it out there. We don't need backstory. We don't need character development. Just 10 minutes of you putting out something.
Something good, competent, and entertaining.
Now, the whole point is you only got 10 minutes, and there's going to be other directors putting stuff in there. You have to snatch people's attention. So usually, if you put in 10 minutes of something that makes people say, what the fuck did I just watch? That usually means you're going to take the gold because they're going to remember you.
These amalgamation films,
I love them.
I really love them. They've been around for a very long time, but the first prominent one that it stopped us in our tracks was one called ABCs of Death.
Yes, that was so fucking good.
It literally was.
You got 26 short films because each one is a letter, and what they would do is they would tell the director, I'm going to give you a letter. That letter has to stand for a word, whatever word you want, but you're going to make a short film.
We got about 3, 4, 5 minutes.
Yeah, 3, 4, 5 minutes. You're going to make a short film based around that letter.
Yeah.
And I remember one letter, I think it was the letter B.
Yeah.
And it just had this guy running around insane, and the cop was shooting him, and he wouldn't stop. He was in his underwear or whatever, and the whole thing was done in slow-mo. And it's like, what the fuck's going on? This guy running down the street getting shot by a cop, and then at the end, it says 45 minutes earlier, and his friend comes up, throws like a bag on the table. Yo, you want to try some bath salts? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And
B is for bath salts. And this is what happened after he had the bath salts. He's running down the street naked, getting shot by cops.
I got to tell you, if it were me and I put out a competition to do this, I'll let the directors know, please don't put any kind of like social commentary. No, because those are the ones that weren't that good at all.
I wouldn't tell them not to do that. Number one, because I don't want to put constraints on them.
Yeah.
Number two, you got to have some that are shit. In order to make the others look good, you got to have at least one that's shit.
Apparently, the best one on ABCs of Death was the one where the guy was in some kind of like competition and he had to masturbate to continue winning.
Dude, I couldn't sleep. That fucked me up.
That
fucked me up.
That was the weirdest fucking I could never forget it.
I just couldn't stop saying, yo, what the fuck? Just over and over and over.
That shit was good, dude.
Because a man would have to sit in a chair next to another man sitting in a chair. And then there would be like some sort of a sex scene going on in front of him.
Yeah, and people were dying.
And he has to beat off.
Yeah.
And whoever busts first wins. So if you bust and the other guy didn't bust, they would drive a spike through the guy's skull and kill him. Now, with each scene that they bring in, each sexual scene makes it harder and harder because it's like, yo, I can't jack it to that. Yeah. What the fuck?
Yeah, I can't I'm spent.
That too, that you're spent, but also it's like, yo, I can't beat off to that. They were like getting into weird shit.
Yeah.
But the guy was kind of cheating because the woman who was working the chairs has the power to make a man bust because God, I can't believe I'm going to have to explain this. She had an eye in her vagina.
Oh.
And remember, she would sit in front of the guy and spread her legs.
Yes.
And the eye would come out of her vagina.
Yeah.
and he would just immediately get hard and he would bust. A guy banging a woman, then it was like an elderly couple banging.
And then it was like a massive orgy and people killing each other.
Yeah, people cutting necks open and whatnot, and it's like, man, I can't beat off to that. But the guy was always able to bust. But then the last guy he had beaten, the spike wasn't working, and when the chick with the eye vagina was trying to get it to work, the spike flew up and got her and killed her. So the woman who was helping him cheat was gone and was replaced with just some guy. And it's like, okay, for the next thing, we have a little boy who's chained to the bed, can't move. The boy was like 10.
It was rough.
Big, fat, sweaty, disgusting piece of garbage climbs on top of the boy and is gonna violate the boy, and the guy is like, you just see the look in his face, like, oh god, no, I can't do this. I don't even want to fucking.
I didn't want to watch. I was like, yo, that's
like, yo, get the remote. We might have to change. It was too much. And then the worst part is the guy he had to compete against was just skinny, snaggletooth, sweaty.
He looked like a pedophile.
Looking pedophile.
He looked like a pedophile.
And you see the big ass smile on his face, and the guy's like, oh god, I'm gonna lose. This guy's gonna pop immediately watching a little boy get raped. I was like, oh god, and he lost. But my whole thing is, that was how many years? That was 2000 what? Like
that was
10?
2012.
2012.
That was around the same time the first VHS came around.
So it was 2012. But 26 short films, and I still remember that. All those years ago, I still remember that because it stuck out. That's why I love when they do this. There was another one, my favorite one. The kids are playing with their He-Man. It's like an 80s commercial. They're playing with their He-Mans. I will defeat you, Skeletor. Ah! And boys are like, man, I wish we could really go to Eternia with the war against the vile guy or whatever. And their wish gets granted. And they go there, and it's like, oh shit, this is horrible.
This is horrible, yeah.
Skeletor was like flaying people alive. There are people getting shot. You see him dragged off as slaves as they're screaming and crying. And the boys are just sitting there looking at it like, oh god. I pictured this completely differently. This is horrible. Yeah, that was shit like that. That's why I love these, because if one is bad, you only have to ride it out for like 5 to 10 minutes. It's not that big of a deal. Just ride it out. We'll move to the next
essentially, one. If you guys have a Netflix subscription, it's essentially the Love, Robots.
Yeah, Love, Death, and the Robots.
It's essentially that
sort of thing.
And Oat Studios, which they put out a couple of weeks ago on Netflix. Apparently, the one thing I don't like about it's supposed to be one consistent streaming movie, but they just segmented it in episodes, which don't work in that way.
No, it doesn't. It does not work. It's very much Adult Swim absurdist humor, sort of thing. It was supposed to be in between the different shorts, because the shorts were all serious. But they would have this thing in between that would just constantly have you, man, I laughed at those, because it would be, serious, sci-fi, whatever, and then this funny little interlude, and I would just be laughing because they always played it seriously and straight. You know, when they put I'm going to put this food in here. It's going to cook this pig. And then he opens it and goes, oh, fuck. he turns around and throws up.
He's got that hair coming out of his mouth. It's like, oh, shit.
The guy opens it up. Oh, fuck. He just started vomiting. They always play it straight. I loved it. But that's why I love those sorts of things. And one of the ones that really caught our attention when we first started doing it, it was one called VHS.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Part 1, the first VHS, I would put that as one of my favorite of all time watching, because there's an overarching story, but in the middle of the story, there's like other things, other stories that you see on VHS.
Yes.
And the original one, I'll be short with this, it's just, these kids who do dumb shit and record themselves doing dumb shit. There was a time where this was a thing.
Yeah.
In its heyday, they're like, yo, this guy is going to pay us to break into this house and steal a VHS tape.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a special VHS tape. He says we'll know which one it is when we find it.
Yeah.
We bring it to him, we'll get money. That's like, well, we're going to make copies though, right? Oh, no, we're going to make copies of it, whatever it is. Maybe it's snuff, maybe it's ransom, we don't know.
Yeah.
But we're going to find it. And when they get to the house and break in, they find the guy who lives there is dead, and he's watching a VHS tape on the TV. But they're like, yo, let's go in the basement and find this tape. And they go there, and there's like thousands of tapes. And you're seeing it from their perspective. From the perspective of their camcorder, right? And what you notice is every time they go into the guy's room, either his body is in a different position, or in some cases, he is gone. but they don't notice it. And what they're doing is each person that goes into his room will sit in front of his TV and watch one of the VHS tapes that he has.
Yeah.
And that's what they would be playing to have the shorts. But the shorts always look like they were recorded on VHS. So it's keeping in with the theme. And it's really good. You would watch them and you'd sit there trying to figure out what's the message that they're trying to portray. Like there was one where there was this chick that was a vampire.
That was really good.
That was brilliant. Because these guys were like some douchebags that wanted to go out, get some girls drunk, fuck them, and record it.
Yeah.
And he had a video recorder inside like the button on his shirt. So
because
he's going to record them without their consent.
Yeah.
And they go to a club, they find a couple chicks, and this one shy chick who doesn't speak very good English. She sounds like Romanian or something. And when they get back to the hotel, you see she's like, you know, ripping fucking throats out and drinking blood and whatever. And after the one guy who's kind of nice,
she likes him. Yeah.
Yeah, she actually likes him. So she's like, oh, you know, I'll suck this guy's dick. And he's like, I just watched you disembowel my friends. I can't get off. You just killed all my friends. And she's like, oh, you know like? And she's all crying and shit. And the guy tries to go and run away. And she goes out there, catches him. And you're only seeing this through his video recording. Yeah. So you can't really see his face. But she captures him and they're flying. And he kind of like looks up. Yeah. And you see she's gotten like bat wings. So she's flying off. She's clearly a vampire.
But as she was.
And she's just going to like feed on him later. She just grabbed him and flew off. But you're watching it like, yo, what the fuck is going on?
It's really interesting because what you don't see is half of what's brilliant about it, because you see that recording isn't important. It's saving their own lives is what's important.
Right.
And so you're kind of like caught in that hysteria and that kind of panic yourself. It's like, oh shit, what is going on? And it's that shaky cam feel. You know, sometimes it's that shaky cam. But it was done in a way where it wasn't a nuisance like some of the other shaky cam films.
Right. I mean, it's shaky cam with a purpose. If the person is running with the camera, and sometimes they're like, fuck it. They're not even aiming. And you just see the sidewalk and it's swinging back and forth quickly. It's like, yo, he's running.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck trying to film shit. I'm trying to get out of here. It feels like found footage.
Yeah.
It's like found footage done right. They've had like...
a few VHS.
The original one was 2012. They have VHS. VHS Part 2, which was in 2013. Not as good. Not as good. Still good. I still like this sort of thing, but not nearly as good as Part 1. Then VHS Viral was the third one. That was in 2014.
That was good.
That was okay. Not as good as Part 1. Yeah. Better than Part 2.
Yeah.
And then we finally got this one, VHS 94. And when you were like, yo, guess what? It's new VHS. I squealed like a Japanese schoolgirl.
I was excited. I can't believe this shit came out.
I haven't seen this shit. This 2021. The last one was 2014. I was hyped.
Yeah, I was hyped.
I was hyped. So we got into it.
It started out strong.
I was a little, because the overarching story, remember, there's always an overarching story, but in between the story, they will end up watching some sort of VHS. And that's where the short stories come in.
Yep.
The overarching story to me, it really took me out of it.
Yeah, it did.
Oh, we're a SWAT team. We're going to go bust up this drug ring. And I was like, why are two of your SWAT team members 105-pound women?
Yeah, it didn't make any sense.
That kind of pulled me out.
And they're taking the lead, and they're not even doing proper SWAT tactics.
I mean, and then once they got there, it's like, oh, it's a giant warehouse, which was a lot bigger on the inside. That made no sense, but whatever. It's like, okay, so it's just one SWAT team of 6 guys are going to raid this entire fucking warehouse.
And they had this one line called, hey, forget the tactic, we need a coroner.
No, that's not how he said it. Damn it, it was so fucking ridiculous and over the top.
It's like...
And I was laughing at it.
We need a coroner.
No, he didn't say coroner. I think he said, we need a burial or
something. Grave digger.
Yeah, that's what it was. Forget the lab tech. We need a grave digger. I was like, what? What the fuck is that? I was like, Ramirez, what the fuck is the matter with you? What are you doing?
What are you doing? They're like, this is fucking terrible.
We need a grave digger. It's like, get the fuck out of here.
And knowing the VHS style, like, usually the overarching storyline isn't that great, but it's supposed to get you where you need to get going.
Right. So they're in there, and a bunch of people are dead watching all these different VHS tapes that like clawed their eyes out or some shit. It's nothing really to concern yourself with. It's just to get us from point A to point B.
Just wanted to make a notation. Yeah. You could tell most people that are pretty young in the industry, all right, never in their 20s used a fucking VHS.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think they have ever watched anything on a VHS before.
I don't think any of these people that made the editing cuts know what the fuck they were even thinking of.
They don't know how a VHS works.
Because they had something, and maybe all you new guys are new fans that are listening, there was something called a tracking on your VHS player.
Yeah, that was annoying. It did take me out. Yes, explain to them what it was.
Okay, tracking is when you need to adjust the picture on the VHS tape. Now this means it gives it like this white, staticky, grainy feel. And sometimes depending on the tape, how many times it's ran, brand new VHS tapes don't have this issue. But let's say you rent the tape at Blockbuster. Obviously, the tape's been ran a fucking 1,000 times on so many different VHS machines. So you would have to track it to get the picture quality at its best. So there's this little graininess that goes across the screen. I kid you not, anytime you have any kind of graininess on your picture, you will fix it. You will not let it stand because it will drive you insane.
Yeah, and it stayed there like the whole fucking time.
It's like,
and it was getting on my nerves.
It was getting on my nerves. Like, yo, can someone track this shit?
Fix the tracking, man. Get that fucking grainy shit off.
Yeah. I mean, the person that was editing this was probably under 25.
Oh, yeah. These are absolutely zoomers.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. The key is the short films. And there were 5 short films. The first one is called Storm Drain.
Yeah.
Which was okay. It had enough what the fuck to really get me started. What the fuck?
It had a strong start. It had a little bit of scariness. It had a little bit of comedy.
No, that comedy was unintentional. I laughed, but I don't think it was meant to make me laugh. I laughed way more than I should have. It's basically a news reporter following up on some random segment of, there's a rat man who's in the sewer. Ooh, and they're just asking people about it. And then she goes in the sewer, and the term say, okay, everything's played straight so far. Yeah. That's fine. Until she goes in the sewer, she goes deeper in the sewer and finds out that there is a cult that worships a giant rat, and what the gigantic rat will do is vomit on you, and if you are unworthy, the vomit will be acid and it will melt your goddamn face off. But if you are worthy, the vomit will just make you a follower in the cult of Ratman. Not Ratman, Ratman. Stuff down there, and the news guy's like, oh yeah, we want to do a show. Our newscaster was stuck in the sewer, but thankfully we got her out. We're still looking for the cameraman. We don't know where he is. And then the chick just like, oh yeah, she does her normal broadcast, and then just out of nowhere turns to the other newscaster and vomits acid on his face. It was gory as shit, man. I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
To me, it was a strong start. It was a strong start because it had a little bit of everything.
I mean, his whole fucking face melted off right to the skull.
Yeah.
And everyone, oh my God! She just turns to the camera, Hell Ratman. It made me laugh, and I said, you know what? It's fine.
Yeah.
We have
that
fun
was
here.
Unexpected.
We have fun here. It was unexpected. It's a pass.
Yeah.
It's a B-. It's a pass. I enjoyed myself. It was only 10 minutes. Let's move on to the next one. It's fine. The next one was, they also had something in between it called Veggie Master.
Yeah.
Which is awesome because it showed that somebody recorded over the tape. Not knowing what was on the tape, they recorded an infomercial.
And many people that aren't keen to owning or using a VHS player wouldn't understand that. Why did it just change all of a sudden? No, they recorded over.
The fact that they did that.
They recorded over the actual program.
And because the infomercial was so short that when the infomercial ended and he stopped recording, it jumped right back to the other thing. Yeah. I wish there would have been more of the Veggie Master. I was like, what's this? I want to see more about this. Mash up potatoes. It's the Veggie Master. After that, what was the next one? It says, was it Empty Wake?
That was the Wake one, yeah. And that one felt longer than it needed to be.
It was longer than it needed to be just to establish what it was they were trying to establish. I mean, it was fine. Empty Wake is this chick. There's a wake that's supposed to be from 9 p.m. until like 6 a.m. sometime in the morning.
Forget that shit, bro. I don't want to be there by myself.
What funeral home is going to be open fucking 9 p.m. till 6 in the morning? Get the fuck out of here. No. Oh, that's when we want to have the wake. No. We're not going to be fucking open. That's fucking ridiculous.
And there was a fucking storm coming around, too.
Yeah, there was a tornado. There was a tornado that hit. Spoiler alert. Turns out the guy died from a zombie bite, so he came back to life, and it's like his whole head was fucking ripped off. And he ends up attacking the chick that was there, and then you see at the end, she becomes a zombie
too.
Because a tornado hits the funeral home, so she just shuffles out the freaking window.
That was a little lazy, knowing because of zombie fatigue.
Only because the whole zombie thing came out of left field.
Yeah.
If there had been some radio reports of weird stuff going on in the cemetery,
anything leading up to it, giving you an inkling.
This guy died because the cops shot him and some other dude, because the other dude was like attacking him viciously and biting into his face.
Yeah, all you get is like he died. In a car accident.
If there was a lead up to that, it would have been a bit better. But oh shit, zombies. Okay.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the zombie craze is past.
It's weird. It's zombie fatigue. It's zombie fatigue.
Yeah, because I used to watch anything dealing with zombies.
Bring it back in the next 20 years, maybe.
Yes, absolutely. Just the next 20 years, you can bring it on back.
Yeah, it's just too much.
I really wish HBO had gone through with that World War Z.
Yeah,
they were going to have a documentary. It was going to be episodes.
Oh, that shit would have been fantastic. Each episode
was going to be a chapter.
That I'll watch.
That's what they planned on doing originally. When Max Brooks gave them the rights to do it, that's what they were going to do originally. And then they scrapped all that and made a piss-poor, generic zombie movie with Brad Pitt. Which sucked. So
yeah, it's people liked it that haven't read the book, but when they read the book and they look at the movie like, yo, what are you fucking kidding me?
That book was so fucking phenomenal.
Beyond.
Also, you should purchase the Zombie Survival Guide.
Yeah, that's
a
also
good book
good
as well. Ties into the other book, but I digress. So that one was called The Empty Wake. First one was Storm Drain. There's the really bad one. See, I've got Terror, Holy Hell, and The Subject. Which one is the one that almost killed it for us? We were gassing out.
We were gassing out because I don't know what the.
I'm trying to figure out what it's called.
The terror is the one with the mad scientist digging inside the brain.
So that was the terror.
Yeah,
sure?
It also linked up to the other one as well.
Hold on. This will tell me right now. Hold on. The wait. Oh, by the way, I should say that black chick who was the main character for the wake, she's hot as shit.
Well, you gotta be kidding me. Hold on. I gotta investigate.
Look at this.
Oh, she is hot. Look at that. She's got the right line of caramel there.
You mean she's mixed?
Yeah, she's nice.
So you don't like those authentically black women?
No,
That's
I do.
Fine. No, yeah, I'm okay with your racism, Ray. You know we're cool. You can be racist, but
I'm not a racist. That's what's so insane about this.
Oh God! By reflex, I was about to jump in. I had to stop myself because we like to have fun here, but certain people listening may not get some of our humor. So I had to stop myself. I was about to jump in with the next part.
Some people won't even know where that's from. I don't want people to relive that. I think he survived.
I think Dane had that song as a ringtone. On his phone. That was for one day.
Yeah.
He had to take that shit off. Oh God! You know what, man? If we can get the song, I'm gonna go on YouTube and find the song and just play it.
Oh my goodness!
Because it's not like the guy was making money off of it. He's not gonna care if somebody plays the song, but whatever. But yeah, her name is Kyle. Is this pronounced
Kayla?
No, Kyal. 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 What is she? A Dothraki? Carl. Her last name is Legend. Kyal Legend, and she is a nice sip of tea.
Yeah.
She most certainly. Look at that.
Oh yeah, that's nice. She's flexible. That's
she does ballet stuff.
How could not evade a freaking a zombie that could not see? Is beyond me.
She's really fucking pretty, man. She was in something called Backstage, apparently. But I'm still looking. You said it was called Terror.
The Terror, yeah, and that's where the Filipino doctor he was doing brain experiments, and it seemed pretty interesting at first, but then he kept fucking talking.
No. Terror was the white nationalists.
No, that was the last one.
No, but that was called Terror because cameraman Bob, Greg, Chuck, Jimmy, Prisoner, Steve. That's Terror.
That's Terror. Okay.
That's Terror. So what we're looking... So then if it wasn't Terror, I'm thinking it was The Subject.
Yeah. Because there was broken up into two sections. The doctor prior to getting killed, and then the subject that he was working on. So it was like two films in one.
Yeah. Now, The Subject, to me, was the Achilles heel in this. That was awful.
Yeah.
It was awful because the cinematography was very bad.
It was
It looked like something that some high school students did.
Yeah,
like
they did.
And there's a point where like one of the guards is getting shot up, and you see the guy, doing the dance.
That shit was funny though.
The bands to make him dance, and mind you, they're not using blanks. She just shakes the gun, and then you just add everything else. You add the sparks and sound effects. And when she was done shooting and she put the gun down, he kept going. He kept dancing around. He's still being shot. I'm like, oh my god.
It was funny though.
At that point, it was funny. But the problem is, you had to sit through that shit for like 8 fucking minutes, man.
No, only because it was connected.
It dragged on.
Only because it was connected to the other story. It felt way longer than it needed to be, and I was gassing out too. I don't know what was going on. We both were falling asleep at the same time.
I kept blinking really hard. I would just open my eyes and shake my head.
I got a call in the middle of that woke me up. I was like,
that's what saved us. When you got that call, I got up and walked away. That's the only. Otherwise, I guarantee you, I would have fell asleep.
Oh man, that was.
I would have fell asleep, and both of us would have woken up when the whole fucking movie was over.
The holy hell and the subject were really bad.
Okay, now
the terror is the last one.
Holy hell, was that the main one with the SWAT team?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so we'll get to that in a second. The last one, which was the terror, that was interesting. Okay. That was okay because I wouldn't say great. I would say it was okay because it made you think. We're like, what the fuck is going on? And basically, a bunch of white nationalists, fundamentalists, militia. They had kidnapped a vampire, and they believed that the U.S. government was infiltrated with vampires.
Yes.
So they were going to bomb a federal building. And the way they were going to bomb the federal building is if a vampire is exposed to daylight, he blows up like a fucking bomb. Like a fucking bomb. And they're like, we'll take vampire blood, inject it into certain things, and have it go into the federal building in the day, and it'll blow up the building.
Yeah.
Stupid idea, but whatever. Yeah. So that's what they were going to do. They got drunk on moonshine one night to celebrate. And one of the guys decided to go in there and fuck with the vampire. Because to keep the vampire weak,
you have to keep shooting them.
Is they would shoot him in the head like every couple hours. So he would constantly have to spend all of his energy regenerating.
It was like every 12 hours. They were
like every 12 hours they would go and shoot him in the fucking face with a shotgun or something like that.
Yeah, it was actually kind of brutal. They had all this fucking garlic and freaking crosses around
there was
the whole
garlic
thing.
And crosses everywhere. That's why I was like, is this a vampire? This looks like, is that garlic they've got hanging there?
Yeah, that's the one way.
And they kept saying, we got to make sure we do it during the day. We can't do it at night and this and that and whatever. I was like, I think this is a fucking vampire.
Yeah.
Which was interesting. It made you think, made you try to figure it out. They fuck with the vampire, and the vampire gets loose, and it kills all of them, but their incompetence really made you not care. I think they wanted you to be sympathetic because the people were white nationalist militia.
You understood what they were doing, though.
Well, you did, but I think it would have been better if they'd actually worked to make you sympathetic. They made them seem incompetent.
Yeah.
They're incompetent rednecks. And I was like, the problem with that is if they're so incompetent, they never should have made it this far.
Yeah,
and you take me out of it when you do that. There's nothing wrong with making the bad guy sympathetic. You can say he's a piece of shit, but I see where he's coming from.
But then again, you're making the vampire seem like he's the victim in all this.
Well, they're trying to make it seem like even a vampire is not as bad as white Trump supporters. That's what they were trying to say.
Back in 1994. Because apparently they
were complaining about Bush. Not Bush, Clinton. They're complaining about Clinton. So we know what that's all about. But eventually it was kind of funny when a vampire did escape, and you saw it's not what you think a vampire is. His mouth was in his neck.
And
he's running around eating people's faces. It was fucking weird.
That's really great about the VHS thing is we understand these guys are going on a shoestring budget, and because of the graininess and the style of the films, they don't have to have super detailed.
That's the whole point. Because of the graininess, the whole thing does kind of look like the schlocky sort of stuff that you would see back in the day on VHS. But what I love, the one thing that kind of turned me off with this, every one of the stories had to be in some way or form horror.
Yeah.
And I understand that because this came out on what channel?
Shudder.
Shudder's the only place that would have something like this.
Streaming,
So Shudder has to be scary. So they made all of this horror, and I was like, VHS before, it wasn't all just about horror. It was just you watching something and saying that
was fucking weird.
Yeah, that was fucking weird. And the fact that it was weird would leave you feeling unsettled for the whole day. Yeah. You're not scared. You're just like, that was fucked up. And you're just thinking about it all the time. That was always the point.
There was that one episode in the VHS where, it was one of my favorite ones, where this guy, he got, I think, was he taken to a cult and the house was disappearing or vanishing into a black hole or some shit like that? And
the house was vanishing into a black hole.
He was taken to like a house. And then the house was like coming alive or some sort.
No. It was Halloween. They were going to go trick-or-treating. One of the kids was dressed up in a teddy bear outfit, and he was like, what are you supposed to be? I said, I'm a nanny cam, because I'm a teddy bear with the camera in the chest.
Oh, that's right. That's
why he was recording everything. And they were supposed to go to a house that was having a Halloween party, but they went to the wrong house. And in the house, they were actually exorcising a chick that was supposed to have the Antichrist in her.
That's right.
And when they go through the house and they get up to the attic, they're like, oh, look, they're doing like a seance thing, and they were cheering, and the guys were like, get the fuck out of here, you're not supposed to be here, whatever. And they chased them out, and they're like, yo, that was real. They got that girl chained up in there. We got to go back there. We got to help her. So they go back to the house, and they get the girl out, away from the people. Yeah. The demon comes out and starts like strangling people and throwing them around. They're like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, and they go through the basement, their hands coming out of the walls because the whole house was getting possessed. And then when they all jump in the car with the girl and drive, when they get to some train tracks, the engine conks out. And then, they're like, yo, what the fuck's going on? Then there's a train coming, and all the doors are locked, and they can't get out. And then they look up, and the girl's no longer in the car. She's outside staring at them in the car, and she just locked all the doors, and she's gonna sit there and wait for the train to come. Frank, unlock the doors, Frank. Unlock the doors, Frank. Stop the car, Frank. Stop the car. Like, they couldn't get out. It's like, all you can do is sit there and watch the fucking train come. That was horrible.
That was in the first one. That was in the first one. That was the first VHS.
That was really, really good. And I still remember it. Again,
let's rate this bad boy.
So, by the way, the overall story,
was shit.
Holy hell, was garbage.
Yeah.
Those two 110-pound females apparently overpowered the rest of the SWAT team.
Yeah,
I guess
it made no sense.
And beat one of them up. It's like, no, this isn't about drugs. We're not making drugs here. We're making snuff films. The best of the best. Why are people here with their fucking eyes just gouged out while watching your shit?
Yeah.
I don't. And it was
one of the guys arming the terror people inside the terror film.
But that's not I don't give a shit about that. What I give a shit about is like, you're 110 pounds.
Yeah.
What? There was no one else there.
Yeah, no, it was
at least
bizarre.
With the first one, with those kids, you saw them disappearing one by one. And they're like, hey, where's Dave? Yo, Dave! What the fuck is this guy? And you notice, oh wait, that body is gone. Yeah, Dave is dead. That body, that zombie, which is what he was. He got up, and Dave is gone. And one by one, everyone was disappearing. Like, what the fuck's going on? But that never happened in this one. So the overarching story in this one was shit. Yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead and rate this. I may have rose-tinted glasses, but I will try to be fair. I'm going to give this a middle-of-the-road matinee. I am very happy that VHS is back.
I am very happy.
I want more. I'm telling you right now, I want more. But I can't give it more than a middle-of-the-road matinee.
I'm going to give it the same thing, only because I didn't feel like I wasted my time if I was just sitting into a really bad film and not getting any kind of, like, redeeming entertainment.
You got 5 films.
I got 5 films. Yeah. I got some storylines. I don't know, as time progresses and these kind of films keep coming out, I feel like the creativity is not there.
I just want people to do more shit like this. And you're right, Ray. The creativity is not there.
Because from the first ABCs of Death and from the first VHS, they were like the pinnacle of like the weirdest and strangest ideas thrown together.
Tell me something, Ray. Was this ABCs of Death? Wasn't there one where some dude was in love with a Japanese girl's farts?
Yes, he was. That was in the ABCs of Death.
That was ABCs of Death?
Yeah.
I remember I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like her farts saved the world. No. Yeah, it was like her teacher was a female.
Yeah.
And she pronounced her love to her teacher.
In a fart.
Her fart was supposed to be her love, but wasn't there like a monster and her farts saved her teacher's life? I don't know.
It was weird. It was fucking strange.
That was, and I loved it. I was like, this is the craziest shit I've ever seen. But anyway, VHS 94 official rating, matinee. Middle of the road matinee. Take us out of here, right?
Don't forget to visit us on our website at g2ta.net and godtalkbot.com. And don't forget to subscribe. It came.
There we go.